Hi, friends. Once we understand that the mind can become either friend or enemy, another question naturally arises. Why is the mind so difficult to control in the first place? Why does it wander, react, fear, obsess, and resist, even when we intellectually know better? Most human beings have experienced this inner contradiction. We say, I should remain calm, yet anger appears. We say, I should focus, yet distraction pulls us away. We say, I should not worry, yet the mind continues generating anxiety. This is why merely giving advice rarely transforms a person, because information alone does not master the mind. The ancient Indian traditions understood this profoundly. The Bhagavad Gita openly acknowledges the difficulty. Arjuna tells Krishna, the mind is restless, turbulent, powerful, and difficult to control. As difficult as controlling the wind. What honesty? What psychological realism? The Gita never presents spiritual growth as simplistic positivity. It recognizes the actual turbulence of human consciousness. And Krishna replies with remarkable balance. He does not deny the difficulty. He says, yes, the mind is restless, but through practice and detachment, it can be trained. This is one of the greatest insights ever given about human transformation. Because the Gita is saying the restless mind is not a permanent destiny, it is trainable. This is where modern neuroscience surprisingly converges with ancient wisdom. Today, scientists speak of neuroplasticity. The brain changes according to repeated patterns of attention and behavior. What we repeatedly think, feel, and focus upon gradually reshapes natural pathways. In other words, attention literally rewires the brain. William James understood this long before modern neuroscience fully emerged. He wrote, the education of attention would be the education par excellence. What does this mean? It means that real education is not merely collecting information. Real education is learning what to attain to, what to ignore, how to consciously direct awareness. Because wherever attention goes, mental energy follows. If attention becomes trapped in resentment, fear, comparison, self hatred, then consciousness gradually becomes shaped by them. But if attention is repeatedly directed toward clarity, discipline, purpose, compassion, higher ideals, then the personality itself begins to reorganize. This is why inner life matters so deeply. Most people think freedom means doing whatever one feels like doing. But both psychology and the Gita suggest something very different. If every impulse controls me, am I truly free? Or am I simply being pushed around by habit, conditioning, fear, and emotional reaction? Real freedom may begin when awareness becomes capable of observing impulses without immediately obeying them. And now we arrive at one of the most practical insights of the Kena Upanishad. The Upanishad suggests that awareness itself is deeper than mental activity. Think of the sky and clouds. Thoughts are like clouds, constantly moving, changing, appearing, disappearing. But awareness itself is like the sky, open, silent, unchanging, capable of observing all mental weather. This changes our entire relationship with suffering. Because ordinarily we say, I am anxious, I am depressed, I am angry. But the witnessing perspective introduces another possibility. There is anxiety being observed. There is sadness being observed. There is anger being observed. This small shift creates enormous psychological space. It means you are not merely the passing storm of thought. There is a deeper center of awareness behind the turbulence. This does not mean denying emotions. It does not mean suppression. The Gita never teaches emotional numbness. The Upanishads never teach indifference to life. Rather, they teach disidentification from mental chaos. To witness is not to escape life, it is to stop drowning inside every passing mental wave. And this insight may be spatially important in the modern world. Today, the human mind faces constant stimulation, notifications, comparison, outrage, speed, information overload. Attention is continuously being pulled outward. Perhaps this is why so many people feel exhausted even when physically safe. Because fragmented attention produces fragmented consciousness. The yogic traditions therefore insist on practices that recollect attention, meditation, self observation, disciplined reflection, silence, breathing, prayer, deep study. These are not escapes from reality, they are methods of reclaiming consciousness. William James, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Kena Upanishad all point toward the same profound truth. Human beings are not helpless prisoners of thought. Attention can be trained, the mind can be transformed, awareness can deepen. And perhaps the greatest discovery is this: you do not have to believe every thought that passes through your mind. You can observe it, question it, redirect it, transcend it. That is the beginning of inner mastery. And perhaps that is why the Kena Upanishad ultimately asks not merely what do you think, but who is the one aware of thinking itself? Because the moment we begin exploring that question, human consciousness enters an entirely new dimension. Thank you.